Officials confirmed one of the three people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends, where a total of 6 people were. One of them, a rapper Davon Bennett, who goes by the stage name King Von.
Investigators just found something in the forgotten 2019 court case involving Durk and King Von targeting a man in Atlanta. Evidence exposed by a member's father links Durk dealing with Von, so the case would be closed. And let me explain. If King Von never passed away, Durk would have been sentenced to prison years ago for a different crime than what he's facing right now. In February 2019, a man got hit up near the Varsity in Atlanta. Jewelry, cash, and his Jeep were robbed with cameras capturing the robbery. By June 2019, a judge held a probable cause hearing with the detective testifying that footage shows Durk using rounds from a moving vehicle, and it puts King Von with him in the car. The judge says there's enough to move forward on charges, resulting in King Von being arrested. Put your other hand on top of your head. Please. Out here. What? Where? Atlanta. Yeah, just change it. You too. I hate it like this, partner. You ain't never give me no hard time. Man, when you can't explain to your hunt, man, like it's not we don't know what your case is. We just people to come pick you up to get your order, right? 1 week after that, Durk was granted a $250,000 bond with conditions to not be around King Von. And Von received bond, too. But the case got very interesting after King Von passed. In October 2022, Fulton County prosecutors dropped all charges against Durk, quoting the reason for in the interest of justice, as Durk essentially got a get-out-of-jail-free card because King Von was no longer around. But it turns out that Durk might have known the case would get dropped if Von passed. So he set him up. TF member Vonnie's father claimed that King Von was backwood by Durk, and he had his son Vonnie orchestrated. I'm going to give you this. It's a back door, and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm going to tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges. Wait. Are you talking about the Von like King Von? Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to little Tim the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, was it open? This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words. Was it open? He told him, it's off the hinges. Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right. You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had. This is what he had. This is that and another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting me know that who told on Durk, who told on Von before he has academics would then ask Vonnie's father why Durk would want Von gone. Why would Durk want Von? Man, let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in number 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business, and in you they outpass, they surpass you. How you bring me to the table, and I pass you up, don't nobody want that cheap spot taken, do they? That's interesting. Dude was a select. He was signing the boys. He was sign. He was Von was no. That's interesting. I did find out that Van didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How is this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, hey, you think your man will be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He had a public defender. As court files suggest, this case was closed privately. This means Durk likely made some sort of deal with the courts behind closed doors, so it would never go to trial. He even doubled down when the news wrote, Vonnie's father reveals Vonnie allegedly orchestrated Lil PB and King Von's passings. No, he ain't responding no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made Theo get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. Do you understand me? So, that's what you meant by trenches paint. Okay. What you mean trenches? What? I don't was it you that said that with the whole narrative about Bonnie snitching with the text messages like that? Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me. That was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text message is about. Tell no. That's just saying what are you going to type out to, and this, that. And with me saying Vaughn, some people like, man, well, he going to tell some. I ain't going to lie. I said that in my video. I didn't know what the V name was for. No. He ain't going to tell them. You're going to tell that just like you orchestrated this. And guess who you work for? However, the 2026 van passing files were updated with new evidence and police records giving more details about Durk playing a role in it. As it begins with the police being told from a nurse that Van was brought back to life and made it through 2 surgeries, but got startled by the nurse walking the room and it made him pass away. And Vaughn made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries to go. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said, "Where's gun at?" And he went into shock. So he was through surgery. How hours later, Kayla know? Yeah, he fought the nurse. She the one told me that. His mama didn't even know that. How you knowing what's going on inside the hospital? That she was there at the hospital. But what's even more concerning is that the police believe he got back door from one of his own, just like Vonnie's dad said, because Van had bodyguard with him on that night. But they disappeared when the altercation happened. Security guard let him walk. You get paid to you. He get paid to protect. How do you let him walk over and fight? He ain't supposed to let him fight. He ain't supposed to be touching nobody. Security guard. If anything, you make sure Quando them leave. Whoever else they was with, you make sure they leave. How you let him walk over somebody that's the reason y'all here. The reason everybody in this parking lot here. Because this man right here making the money and y'all is entourage. But that security guard is unofficial with him. That's why he deleted his Instagram. So I definitely feel like it's foul play. I don't know where it's coming from. But I definitely feel like it's some weird going on. Police body cam footage from the scene shows only Van's friends with not a single bodyguard around. But to get all the details on King Von's passing, you have to review how the entire situation went down as police files detail how it happened with it starting on November 5th, 2020. King Von and his crew went out to a club in Atlanta to celebrate the release of his Welcome to O Block album. The night was supposed to be a celebration of how far King Von had come from the streets and the success of his music career. But they didn't expect it to be so short-lived. What's strange about the night of his passing is that King Von was one of the safest rappers whenever he went out in public. Even his manager spoke on the level of security he surrounded himself with. I travel one security that moves with Von, and he traveled with 2 more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a proof truck, and not only that, his guides are security. Man, he travels with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Van more than any security would. Where I think we're about 8-10 cars deep. A 2025 on honorage. Despite King Von having the security around him with his friends and bodyguards, he would act out and put his life in jeopardy. But with King Van and crew still in the club partying, everything was going good. And when it got to the early morning hours, they decided to leave the club. Everybody mind leaving the club is that we're going to a hotel and Airbnb because that's normal routine. The club he went to the after hours wasn't getting paid for. I didn't have no acknowledgement of this team. That have no acknowledgement of that was a complete Van decision. People were getting ready to go to their hotels for the night and sleep. But Van had other plans as he told his driver to go to another club known as Monaco. Everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Van literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car like, "Hey, bro, we here by matter of fact." I think from his DJ was like, "Hey, bro, you know we here by ourselves, like where you guys at?" And everybody rerouted to that venue. Luckily, once King Van got to Monaco, the other people in his truck alerted the full crew that they stopped at another club, and the rest of them followed. But once Van's manager 100K track showed up, he knew that Van wasn't acting like normal. For some reason, Van wasn't himself. This man is like, I promise you the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason, that night it was off. Like, we stayed in the car for like 35 minutes. When his manager got in the truck to check on him and convince him to get in the club, he finally agreed. But before Vaughn went in, they sent in security to make sure it was safe. I went to the car he was in. I was like, yo, Vaughn went inside the passenger seat. I'm like, yo, Vaughn, bro, what's going on? Like, everybody here waiting. Let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Van's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside the club. They check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no while some of the security is checking out the club. One of Van's other members noticed that Quando Rondo and his buddies were sitting in a white SUV in the same parking lot. And that member would quickly relay the information to Van. Now, right before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys, he came to the car and said, hey, and so's here. And Van just jumped up like, oh, come on, let's go. Once he heard the news, King Von got up and out of the truck instantly and walked towards Quando Rondo's vehicle before swinging on him. He jumped out the car. By the time Van jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where So was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into So. As soon he bumped into So started brawling. Unfortunately, this was too big a mistake for King Van to overcome. While he was going after Quando Rondo, Quando's friend Lil Tim got out the car and used his firearm towards Vaughn 4 times. People from Van's crew instantly retaliated on Lil Tim to stop him, but the damage to King Vaughn was already done. With the noise of clips going off in the area, 2 off-duty officers pulled up to the scene and began making the scene even crazier as they take out another member of King Van's crew. But while everyone's brawling and letting off rounds back and forth, King Van and Quando Rondo lay in the middle of the street. Some people claim Quando was snatching Van's chain, but others claim Van was holding Quando in order to shield himself. And was he trying to take Vaughn's chain, or honest truth? I don't think Roy had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little bit closer. Vaughn was actually holding on to him like, man, you ain't going nowhere like you. He'll even through getting he's that strong, he was literally holding him. After some time, the officers pulled away from the scene, and as soon as it quieted down, O-Block members were racing to save King Van's life. Van's closest friend, Mwap, ran into the middle of the street, threw Quando away from Vaughn, and picked him up to take him to the getaway vehicle. At the same time, Wando's crew get back in their car and head straight for the hospital. What's incredible about King Vaughn, is that despite being hit 4 times, he was conscious the entire time on the way to the hospital and reassured his boys that it was going to be all right. When he was in the car, I myself wasn't there. The gentleman that was in the car with him was panicking, and Bond was the one that was like, hey, calm down, slow down, chill, I'm going to be good. Just get him to the hospital. And honest truth, we all thought that the way he was carrying himself from that incident, from what I was told from people in the car, that he would have been fine. Once they got to the hospital, Van was rushed into the operating room where he had the 2 surgeries, but unfortunately passed after being startled in his room by a nurse. Supposedly, King Van was looking for his firearm in the hospital room, but he never actually had one. It was only reported he didn't have one just recently. And many people wonder why Boozy knew he didn't have one from an interview 2 years ago. I mean, like you said, the King Vaughn situation, there was absolutely no reason for Vaughn to be rolling around with that dude. There was no, especially since he had security, someone should have jumped in. It should have never even stigmat. I feel like they would have been more ready in Chicago. Sad, man. Sad. I mean, the whole King Vaughn thing is really kind of hanging up everyone right now. Dap me up, bro. Because I like King Vaughn, But King Vaughn's passing would shake the entire rap industry when it hit the news. This made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people was rapper King Vaughn from Chicago, who was here last night with friends. 2 groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange with everyone knowing Lil Tim and Quando Rondo were responsible. People waited for their interviews to be released with Quando, saying Whoever on my side, they got kids, and a mama that 100% loved them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid that could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out, or whatever like that could have got handled in a legit way and in a music way. Even Lil Tim, who was the one that did the crime, spoke about the passing to know, like, I was just protecting my little brother. When you did finally find out that it was King Von who how'd you feel? I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid _ last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying like that, because I could easily get on that type of stuff and then be clout chasing type like I ain't known that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like they ain't never popped that off that when it never happened like that. You may wonder why Tim isn't serving a sentence for taking out King Von, but that's because he got the charges dropped. The following day after the incident, Tim was charged with crime, but after going through court proceedings, his lawyer claimed he acted out of self-defense. The judge determined that to be true, and all charges were dropped. As Tim's lawyer wrote, the case against Lil Tim was dismissed before ever being indicted. But with King Von having the friends he does and the community of which he came from, they knew they wouldn't let Quando's crew off for free as they commit a big-time hit on Juan's crew, which resulted in them taking out Lil P. Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say had a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath. The news actually captured the moment that Quando Rondo found out Lil Pibby was gone, and it showed the exact same emotions that friends of King Von experienced just 2 years prior. Durk would then claim responsibility for the hit after he released a song with the lyrics. They're like, Durk, he a singer, he won't do something. You can believe whatever you want, I got your folks hit. He even mentioned the way that Quando Rondo reacted when he found out about Lil Pav. Look on the news and see your son screaming no. This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight,